Yeah, yes, sir. Let's do it.
Welcome to Jira training, and this is the tutorial which will be going forward. Yeah, in this course, actually 1 month. So first, there are pre-requirements. Depending on fresher or experienced, they need to have a basic understanding of SDLC to understand Jira better. But it's a mandatory, like to know. Anyway, we can give an overview of SDLC too. Yeah. Starting with introduction, what is Jira? So Jira is a project management tool and used for issue tracking and bug tracking. And who will use Jira and why they'll use Jira? So basically, development projects and service projects use Jira, and what is their purpose? Is the introduction which will be going. Then we'll be knowing about issues. So basically, what is an issue in Jira and what are the versions and components we have in Jira. And as I said, projects, so like what are the different types of projects in Jira, and so what exactly is the purpose of those types of projects in Jira. So we need to understand that. So also I'll be covering like differences between cloud and data center later, and so depending on which platform the learning is going, so there will be mostly focusing in that. So data center will be helpful because data center and cloud mostly will be same. There are little differences. And yeah, moving on to second module, I'll be covering the dashboard. So you're basically in Jira Native, we have a few features in the top menu. So where like after projects, dashboards will come into picture. So there will be two types of dashboard, system dashboard and custom dashboard. So we'll be knowing how to configure them and how to share and configure them accordingly. Also, most used gadgets. So we'll be discussing about top 10 most used gadgets in Jira. Okay, so moving on to model three. So JQL, like SQL, we have JQL in Jira, Jira query language. So what is an advanced search in Jira? So we have a basic search in top menu, and we have a advanced search in like through the issue navigator. We go and search for the issues. So it's basically to filter out issues like more. Project basis and according to versions or components are and how those are divided for the with issue types. So also we'll be covering the issue type, what is an issue type and what is an issue type schema topic later, so which is like most important. So base to learn, and later we'll be going with the boards in the top menu. So like we have this agile process to follow, and like in Jira, so whoever following development teams using agile, they'll be using this scrum board. So scrum board is like how the scrum board looks and what are the different features which you have in scrum board, or the mapping using swim lanes being done in scrum board, and how the tracking being done in Kanban. So we'll be covering the both and in the boards part. Yeah. Moving on to Jira issues, like once the issue is created, like how the issue is managed. So how we create, link, move, delete, clone. So all different types of features in we have in the Jira UI will be discussed in the managing Jira issues module. Yeah. Moving on to Jira user interface. So here we have like so basically in Jira UI we have many things like in the settings, but most we see is the banner above the top menu, as well as like how we want to personalize our email notifications, as well as how do we you want to look at the look, the color, the feed. So all those will be covered in the Jira UI. Also like further settings, so we have a lot of settings in Jira, so we'll be covering the basic and no, most important parts in this module. And moving on to model 7. So here it is managing Jira fields. We have two types of fields in Jira, which are system field and custom fields as a native. So we'll be seeing those what are the system fields we have and how we can use them in JQL as well. Also we have custom fields. So what type of custom fields can be created, and we have different types. So we'll be discussing the types accordingly. As well as we have like other types of field like scripted fields, like those will be coming from adapters plugin. So that's like more advanced. We'll be discussing later in the codes. Yeah. Moving on to module 8, here Jira screen configurations. So screens are very important in Jira. So we have a separate issue type schema. So screens will be a bigger topic because it will be a little bit confusing if we don't go thoroughly from the start. So we'll be starting on what is an issue type schema, and what is a screen schema, and what are the screens we have. We have create, edit, view screen in Jira. So how we can associate, map them with particular issue type, or how we can use one schema for all issue types is what we'll be discussing in the Jira screen configurations. Also, we have like fields. So which like those fields which you want will be decided in the Jira screen configuration. Yeah. So we'll be discussing that. And moving on to model 9, workflow. Yeah. So how your issue has to flow. Basically, like workflow is a life cycle of an issue from start to stop. Like you start from open and you go to do and in progress and done. This is a basic flow we have in Jira. And we can create any type of workflow, and even we workflow have a schema, and inside we'll be having workflows to particular issue type. So how we are creating and associating to particular project. So further going inside the workflows, we have a status and transition. And inside the transition, we'll be using conditions, validators, post functions, properties, and triggers to further enhance the functionality of Jira. So these are many important coming in the course later for further customization, so which will be an advanced level of so how to customize further. And we have like scripted groovy order using groovy, how we exactly customize and use these features is what we'll be discussing. And moving on to module 2, user management in Jira. This is the first most no, important thing to know, that user management in Jira, how it plays, like wherever we go in any application, authentication and authorization plays a major role. So here in Jira, it's same. So like whether you have access to Jira, or you have after having access to Jira application, then how your internal access to particular project or particular role is what we'll be discussing. What are the different roles we have in Jira? So that also we'll discuss. And moving on to troubleshooting in Jira, so basically we have like this notification schema and permission schema, which are the key to decide like which type of email you need to see, and what kind of permission you will be having inside Jira. So using that, there will be a lot of troubleshooting in Jira. Usually uh, when you start working. So this is what we'll be discussing in module 11. And as I said, Jira system administration, like there are more settings in Jira with general configuration and with an audit log. So how does audit log and how do we filter? So every organization have their own policies of keeping the data. So depending on that, these changes will be done. And more setting in the Jira system administration. And we have like a few shortcuts over there to go wherever we are. We can in Jira. So that's we'll be discussing in module 2. And module 13 is a Jira security. As I said, like notification schema plays a major role, as well as uh, like whenever we work on a development project, we don't want certain people to look at certain issues. So that is achieved using Jira security schema. So we'll be discussing that, as well as we have a feature called issue collector. That's a simple and cool feature, to gather data from other applications as well. Yeah, will be discussed in module 13. So we have importing and exporting Jira. How do we import data into Jira? Like basically why this is required. So we need this bulk CSV import to change all field values at once. So that's where this bulk CSV import comes into picture, and we'll be using that. So we'll do a bulk CSV import and see what are the issues we might face here. So and CMG. So CMG is a plugin, so which is not a native, but natively we can export and import projects and in their data. So it is also an advanced level, like basically for migration of project, it will come into picture. It is an advanced level you need to learn. So first, after understanding the schemas and everything about Jira, we'll be discussing this part. So configuration manager for Jira is a plugin. So using that, how do we migrate data between Jira data center to server, server to data center, the data center to like other data center we have. So DC to DC. So is what we can discuss, and we can even discuss the data center to cloud migration too. So we have a different type of configuration in cloud, but we can discuss that too. And moving on to model 15, so Jira mail integration. So there are settings of SMTP where this global mail settings will be there. So how this incoming and outgoing mails are handling. So basically, so we have a mail handler. We need to configure that mail handler using some settings using a host with a technical account. So that will be discussed here. And webhooks. So webhooks is basically to sync issues between one instance to another instance. So we'll be using one configuration using events in Jira. So what is an event? We'll be discussing in this module, I think 6 or 7 in the notification schema itself. And most important, automation in Jira. Well, automation in Jira is an inbuilt feature now, and it comes with its own features of trigger and action with their components in it. It looks easy, but it's pretty difficult to understand and do an automation. There are certain limitations in automations given by Atlassian, as well as there are like certain blocks. We have throttling effect. We have like all those block points, and what are the challenges we might face in automation, and how the automation will actually help being a Jira admin and being a project admin. So this will be discussing in module 16, and coming to module 17, customizing Jira at a workflow level. So as I said, validated conditions, post functions. So further going, which are the advanced customization options used in workflow. So we'll do uh, like a live customizations in a project in Jira. So we'll create a one Jira instance, a trial instance for a month, and let's create all this and try over that. So it will be a hands-on experience. Yeah. So model 18 is for plugins. So plugin is kind of an like, consider plugin as an extension. Like we have extension from Chrome. Same like we have plugins in Jira. We have many plugins. So what are the most popular plugins we use? Like everyone use. So Adaptavist, Script Runner, Jira Mist Workflow Extension, JSU, and Structure. We have X-Ray. So all these are most used plugins in Jira, which are from Atlassian Marketplace. So how those are being used, and assets, as well as we have filters, rich filters. So there are plugins, like most used plugins we'll discuss, and most used plugins how their usage, and further no, we can even see 1 or 2 plugins how their usage is being coming. Yeah, and module 19. So being a Jira developer, knowing this is very important. After coming from basic to advanced database schema, how the plugin development will be there. So we have a developer side of Atlassian. So we'll be going through the structure. So what type of database schema is being used, and plugin development. So we don't go in depth here. We just need to understand like this is a model which is always there in Jira. So being a Jira admin, no one knows this. Yeah, this is mainly a focusing part going further in our career in future. Yeah, so we'll be giving us short overview of plugin development. So how the plugin development works. Also, this the plugin development will get through this licenses. So how the trial license works, how the plugin commercial license works, and we'll be also going through that. And coming to model 20, like we will understand the architecture. So basically, Jira data center, what is the architecture? So it is data center, we have clusters, we have nodes. Those nodes are using whether HA proxy as a load balancer or Nginx as a load balancer. So what types of configuration and what are the inside fields? Like inside there will be files. Uh, so those are very important while doing upgradation. So we'll be understanding a little bit of upgradation and architecture of Jira and as well as cloud. Uh, then we'll be going deep inside like uh, what will be like shared paths and all those in data center available. Yeah. So moving to model 21 certification. So we have like a few certifications in Atlassian. So I'll guide you through some certifications which are easy to get and some are free. So guiding part of those certifications, so which will be adding um, uh, more value to our career or resume in LinkedIn as well. So we'll be going through basic certifications of Jira Service Management Fundamentals. So and yeah, so like there are main certifications of ACP 100 and 120. Yeah, which are but difficult, but with experience and further learning, we can achieve them too. Yeah, so I'll be giving you an outline like how those are and how to prepare to get them, and we'll be taking those basic certifications in into our bucket. Yeah. Yeah, on module 22, this is a resume building. So basically, like we need to focus mainly on what areas we are looking for. Job is as a developer, is it an admin, or is it a like something, usually you're working in like some DevOps tool, other applications used for the Jira. So then it all depends. So depends on that, will building a resume. So which let's build a common resume, but a resume changes to every job role which we are going to apply. Well, I have more experience on this. Let's build a strong resume at the end of this course. And how do we see in such like where the market is? So let's say the market. So where we need to look at. So where we are getting calls to get a job. So how this works, we'll be going through that, and I'll be giving a few tips how we can try to get more calls and interviews to crack the interview and get the job. Yeah. So that's our course outline of 22 modules, which we'll be covering in a month mostly. Yeah. So accordingly, yeah. So yeah, we'll be also doing a hands-on with the trial Jira, which we'll be taking forward. No, codes which will be installing accordingly.
Okay.
That's
So
yeah.
everything will be
Hmm.
demonstrated, right? Like in the tool, we will show everything, right?
Correct. Correct. The
Mm.
tool will show everything.
So do we need to
So
have some license for that?
no.
It's a open source.
Yeah, it's a like a 1 month. It's free. It's a trial. So every month, I think 1 month it's a trial, and after that we need to pay. Well, I've already taken a 1 month trial, and if like depends. We have data center. We need to install it in our local system, and work accordingly. For cloud, we can get an like URL directly. We can use. So data center, no, getting used to data center is like good rather than cloud because both are mostly same. Yeah, and we'll be getting like complete tools, hands-on experience in the codes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And one more thing, like it's a only admin course it is. It's a development as well.
It's a development. Like, see, basically, in the Jira admin itself, there is a development. So where the development comes into picture, the customization, automation, and the groovy. So these are the three topics where the development comes into picture. So we'll be covering the this customizations using workflow, validator, and post functions. Further using plugins, and inside the plugins we have script level work. So kind of there are further enhancements. That's one thing, and automations. Automations is also where there will be scripts coming into picture to work on certain automations. So like there will be no simple automations going in. Will get difficult and complex tasks. For that, we need to implement a Groovy using adapters. So then using that Groovy path, we need to put it in the automation and work on it. So that's a development by using Groovy as well. And being a Jira developer, like these two main, being an admin, mostly knowing all this basic stuff and as well as RCA. So is the main focus. Wherever we go and work, root cause analysis is what is needed to further analyze and work on issues being a Jira admin. That are also like how to work with Atlassian accounts and Atlassian as well. Will giving an overview. That comes in admin. And developer, this also comes into picture as well as upgrade and migration. So we'll be covering on migration as well as upgrade. So we'll not be doing here the upgrade. So, but we'll be giving an at least overview how the upgrade happens in a data center. And in cloud, we don't have to because Atlassian will take care of everything in a cloud.
Okay, okay, got it.
So that's it, the outline of the codes. So once we started, we can get deeper and get hands-on.
Can you show
According,
me once environment, like how it look like?
yeah, let me show. This is like a
This is a Jira software.
This is the Jira software. Okay. So as I said, yeah. So this is like I've downloaded in my local system. So according to the local host, the name we are going, well, we can open this. So I haven't done anything. I already this is the second time I'm taking a trial. And here go. So let me show you once I create a project, I can show it. As I said, creating a project we can do later, but since we started, it is asking us to create a project. So there will be types. So basically, you want to go for Scrum or you want to go for Kanban. According to the work of the development teams, this will be decided. So right now I'll be going with the like Scrum software. So next, also, if you want to take any copy of any other schemas, we can use this feature too. Uh, so just quickly so this is like how the issue types are: bug, task, subtask, story, epic. So there is an hierarchy. So like we need to understand like what is an epic, what is a bug, what is a task. So this what is subtask and story, what is how these are being used is what we need to understand, and how workflow of these issue types of being the life cycle of this particular issue. Let's say the bug goes from to do in progress, then if you want something else, we can do it using a workflow. So but in software scrum development, this is a by default we are getting this. So let me show that for Kanban too. So Kanban, it's a bit different. Like Kanban, whenever it comes, the ticket will be in backlog and it will be goes for selected for development, in progress, and done. And for this basic software, this is how it is. So let's go with basic software now. This is uh, more used configuration. So I'll be going with the SVSoft. Yeah. So his name is SVSoft. Submit. Once we create it, we'll get a default configurations we have in Jira. So whenever we create a new project using the basic uh, this basic type, so we'll get a default schemas for all the project. So which whenever we do create another project, we'll get similar configuration. So let me show that. Here it is. So this is the open issues. Like this is a sidebar. This is the top menu, and this is where we can, you know, like do the look and feel and change the name according to our organization. So in native, we get dashboard, we get project, and we get ports. As well as issues comes into the project as well. The plans is now coming directly. So before it's a plugin. Before it is a separate plugin. Now the plugin comes directly into the Jira. Yeah, and here are all the administrations. So we,
The real-time environment also look like the same?
yeah, this is the real-time environment. This is how it looks.
Okay, okay, okay.
This is how it looks. So basically, what is the main difference between a data center and cloud is like basically like this here, a local host 8080 is there, no? So this is like our own like local name, whatever we give, let's say sv skills or some dot com, something like that we can give. Same in Atlassian, the Atlassian name will come.
Okay.
So like also this data center backend we need to manage. So the application is went down, we need to manage in a data center. The application is slow, we need to
It's like
manage.
a MS Office
Yeah,
software in our local machine.
correct.
Mm.
So basically like this I have installed in a local system, but usually
But
there will be like
cloud will be there. Yeah, cloud
uh,
we can enter.
there will be like,
Um,
yeah, data centers which using virtualization concept, they'll be
um,
using the application and
now
in,
everything moving.
yeah,
Now
correct,
nowadays everything moving to cloud, right?
correct.
Mm.
So in cloud, we don't have to do that. Like Atlassian will take care of everything.
Everything. Yeah, yeah. Just we need to
Yeah.
use
So
it.
we just need to take the link and use it. So
Okay.
Atlassian will take care.
Okay.
But the billing will be higher. Organization won't consider it because when they have like more number of users, they won't go for cloud because the billing will be higher.
Okay.
So also, yeah, like even Atlassian is focusing on cloud now, but yeah, most are same. But knowing this data center will be like added advantage. When we move to cloud, it will be easy.
Okay.
Okay, so this is how the like this is the top menu in Jira. This is how the sidebar looks. So if you have any plugins, the plugins will look here. And this is the summary. As I said, like what is an issue type schema? So this is the schema. What are the issue types we
So
have,
which version
and
is
what is
this
the
for?
work?
Which version? There is a
This
version.
is 9.17.2 I downloaded.
Okay.
Right now 10, 10 is going on. Like we have a like, so usually organization use a long standard versions. So I even worked on 9.17.8. So right now my environment is 9.17.2. So I downloaded 9.17.2 here.
Okay.
Yeah, so mostly same, like
Yeah.
there will be no much differences. Only the maybe some fixes and vulnerabilities kind of a thing. So even I had this experience with vulnerabilities, internally. So that will be a different topic. Cyber security team internally organization will take care. But I even worked with that vulnerabilities in the application as well. So yeah, as I said,
So
like what is the version, what is the component?
the training will itself
Hmm.
go as a project oriented, like, right? As a real-time environment.
Correct,
Mm. Okay.
correct. Completely real-time
We'll
environment
create
project.
one
So
application and we'll add on all the
yeah,
patches what required for that, right?
correct, correct. And we'll also show how to modify it. And like in Jira, being a Jira admin, basically what to do is important, but what not to do is very important. Being Jira admin. So like in organization level, see this schema is used by thousand projects. Basically, like right now, one project is using this since I created 1 year. So in organization level, maybe some thousand. See, schema uses project. So same only one is using. So this is showing one name. Okay. So in organization level, maybe 1,000, 2,000 are using it. So what not to do is very important. So when we do any changes here, it will impact everyone. So what not to do in Java is very important to know and understand. So like we need to, like in those cases, we need to just take a copy and map it to this current schema, the copied one. That's how we do changes accordingly. And knowing and understanding process once we join in the organization is already important. Yeah. That's what, like, being a Jira admin, knowing what not to do is very important. But if you delete one project, people who are tracking, like, let's say, 10 teams are using one project to track. It got deleted like unknowingly, so everything is gone. So like that will be a big escalation, and yeah. So that's how the process goes. But yeah, being a Jira admin, what not to do is very important to know. And we'll be doing all that in a real time basis, in the schemas level, issue type schema, workflow schema. So basically the workflow, as I said, so what are the workflows we have? Workflow schema, and inside that workflows will be there. So right now a simple workflow is there, and how the workflow goes. So here are the workflow, and inside the workflow, this to do, in progress, in review, done. These are called status, and this line is called transition. So inside this transition, we use further enhancement. We do this customization. In the conditions, validators, and post functions, we do further customizations, even using Groovy. Yeah. This is where the workflow, and yeah, screens. As I said, screens is a little bit tricky topic to understand. So we'll be having the issue type screen schema inside that. This is the screen schema, and inside that, these are screens. Create, edit, view. So need to understand like what types of fields are inside and how to map all that. And for that, yeah, fields. Yeah, this is a field configuration schema. You decide what to keep when we create an issue, and what to make mandatory. So all those will be decided in the schema. And also, well as whenever we create this issue, our business created an issue, there should be priorities. For that, this is being used. These are native. These are native. We have some different schemas too that comes from plugin, but mostly people don't use it. Yeah, as I said, permission schema, notification schema. Like this decides what the can do. Okay. A notification schema, what the event can do. Basically, it looks very simple with the summary, but going forward, how to configure them is the difficult part. So, what are the roles we have in Jira? So, this, as I said, this will be covered in the authentication and authorization part, user management. So, what are the different options we have in the summary page, as well as different options we have in the Jira settings within system, about JQL. So all this will be, yeah, will be done real time and sure. On advanced level, like migration, will try to do one migration, and will do upgrade is not possible. We'll do one migration, and yeah, using Groovy also we'll be doing customization. So that will be an advanced level part. And understanding of futures is very important. This will also going through every and each and every feature, and automations. Yeah, as I said, like there will be automations in Jira as well. So we should be having an option here. This is a basic search. So we'll be having two types of automations, like global and project level. So if you want to apply to global, it will be a global level. If you want to apply to only project, it will be a project level. So we can create an automation. So these are the triggers. Depending on the events, it will be triggered. So all this will be there. Uh, and more advanced adaptive script editor plugin. So where there will be Groovy console, there will be behaviors, fragments, listeners, jobs. So usually we'll get it whenever we install. We'll get the plugin to issue the plugin as well. Then we need to install and take a free trial. So this. Yeah.
Okay.
We have some partners. Like we can even go and work in these companies. So yeah, so like Scriptrunner is not operating in India. Even I've given an interview here with Scriptrunner too. So they are operating in Spain right now. And we have X-Ray. X-Ray is supported by a company called Aqualite in Gachibowli in Hyderabad. So these plugins, like we can even go and work for a plugin. We can even create a plugin and put it in marketplace. That's where we the money flows. So, but it's a very complicated and complex shop. Well, organizations usually create in-house plugins for their own requirement, and when like they don't need it, or if they don't want like there are platinum partners actually for Atlassian. So they'll be doing all this work for their business users. And this is a plugin, script runner for Jira, where most work will be done and which will further use to enhance more the features of Jira. Yeah, so yeah, we'll be going all those contents. So what are the applications and how the applications can be connected using, connected like basically this is one Atlassian application and the Confluence is one other application. So I used a Confluence. So when I demoed this Jira, I used Confluence. Here, this is a Confluence. This is a Confluence cloud. See, cloud will be like this. So you'll have your own name and you'll have your uh, like Atlassian.net like this in the cloud. So Atlassian.net will be managed just to identify. That's just to identify. You can have different names. So yeah. So how much like what is the license we have taken when they are going to expire? So all this will be there. So and like how these applications are connected, like two different Atlassian applications are connected. How do we connect them? There is an integration going on in the application. Yeah. So going in depth, like Jira is vast, but the outline I've mentioned, are the basic to know. Well, all these are the features, and in the manage jobs, you can get the manage jobs and the upgrade. So in system, we have a lot of stuff to understand. Yeah, we'll discuss all those in the course outlines. Srinivas is there?
Yeah, yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah. So that's what Jira is about. Like if you start, Jira will be all that like complex. It's a vast application, for project management. So now Jira is in top, like top four asynchronous tools. Jira is in top. DevOps is in fourth position. So now it's booming now. Jira is booming now, and we have like I don't think like another 5 to 10 years we whoever knows Jira and work on Jira will not have any problem.